Yeah, boss. Trisha, the coffee must be nice.
Oh, yes, it's very nice and refreshing.
I also have a refreshing kind of a news because what I can predict is that it will take a few years, but India might qualify for the World Cup
World
very
Cup?
soon. Yeah,
Hey, India has already qualified for the T20 World Cup. India has qualified for the T20 Men's World Cup. Oh, are you talking about Women's World Cup? The Women's World Cup has been postponed to next year. India has qualified. What are you? Have some tea or coffee.
I think you are talking about cricket, and only cricket. I'm talking about Indian football team, men's football team.
Men's football in World Cup? क्या? क्या? क्या?
Why are you getting into the serial mode? Please
Because
spare
it
us
is
the
a
horror.
cinematic.
Please, don't get into
Okay, fine,
serial
fine.
mode. I, the
No,
news
what are
which
you
I
talking
have,
about?
there's a rule change specifically, which has given a glimmer of hope. I will say glimmer of hope for the Indian football team and Indian football in general to rise in the ranks. And when we talk about rising in the ranks, हम क्यों पीछे रहे भाई? कौन साला पीछे रहने की कोशिश करना चाहता है? Sorry for the
कोई नहीं,
slang.
बट हमारे
Viewers
व्यूअर्स सब्सक्राइब नहीं कर रहे हैं ना.
सब्सक्राइब नहीं कर रहा है. Please, we also want to qualify as a
The coffee is really good
renowned
coffee.
youth, and we should also be deemed as
Drink.
very good YouTubers, right?
Yes.
So for that, you need to subscribe, you need to like our channel, you need to like our videos, hit the bell icon, follow us on Facebook and on Instagram. Also follow us on our individual profiles. Everything is in the description below. But now the news is ISL. ISL has done a change in the rule.
You
The
know, the
rule
way
change
you said
is
ISL, it seemed like the next thing you will say James Bond. ISL, Indian Premier League, Indian Super League.
oh, get
नाम तो
out of
सुना ही
that
होगा.
cricket mode.
No, I'm
Get
like
out of that.
ISL, Indian Super League. नाम तो सुना ही होगा. Yeah, नाम तो हमने सब सुना है. But of
नाम तो
course, there
हम
have
लोग
been
बहुत
changes.
फॉरेनर्स का सुना है, सुना था,
Correct.
फॉरेन
Hmm.
स्ट्राइकर्स का. बट नाउ अभी
Hmm.
क्या हो गया? There, up until the last season, there were 5 foreigners who could have played on a in a first 11 of a team. At any
Correct.
given point, 5 foreigners could stay on the pitch, and 6 Indians had to play. Had to play. Now, the rule is 4 foreigners and 7 Indians have to be on the pitch for a
Fantastic.
ISL match every single time. That's great because remember we were discussing when the Bangladesh game when Chetri scored those 2 goals and there were a few chances missed. We were discussing where we get the next Sunil Chetri or a few players who would share the duties of scoring goals. Now
Correct.
this rule with 7 Indians. See, now with 7 Indians, what happens is that even if the coach didn't want to play an Indian in the striking position or in the attacking position, he has to do that. Because I can see
Correct.
foreigners are more trustable because their quality is at this point of time, the quality of foreigners are more supreme than the Indians. But with this, for example, a ATK Mohan Bagan team who had Thierry as a defender, then they had Javi Hernandez in the midfield, Edu Garcia in the midfield, and 2 attacking players that is Williams and Roy Krishna. These 5 players used to play. Now, with one player, if you take out one player, because 4 foreigners can play, if you take out Williams, you need to put Manveer and now Mr. Colasso is also in the team, both in the starting 11. That gives huge opportunity to play the whole 90 minutes specifically for
Remember,
Indian
Argo,
forward.
we were speaking about match time. This
Hmm.
rule actually increases the match time of the players.
Exactly. And this is the same thing why Sunil Chetri, for example, he used to be in I League at one point of time. He has played most of his career in the I League. When he started off as a young striker, he was not this prolific, but he had this talent. And at that point of time, I think there were three foreigners rule in I League, or four foreigners could play. So invariably, you had to field somebody in the attacking option, some Indian. And what happened, Sunil Chhetri got to play games, be it for Mohun Bagan, be it for East Bengal, be it for Churchill Brothers. And then when he became a big star, obviously for Bangalore, he was a regular starter. But all throughout his career for Sunil Chhetri, it was not like he was used as a substitute. He got only 25 minutes or 30 minutes to prove himself. He got the whole 90 minutes in maximum number of games. And that's why with the game time, see, lastly, we are saying that when you don't get the game time, you fail to take opportunities. You fail to shoot from scoring positions because you are not sure. You're mentally not in that space. But now with this rule, for example, take a Northeast team. They also, if they take out any foreigner from either midfield or in the forward lineup, they have to put an attacking minded player, an Indian attacking minded player in that lineup. And that changes the whole equation. And now that also has the scouts of all the teams has a big role to play because they have to select very good Indians or promising Indian forwards, midfielders specifically in these kind of roles.
Absolutely. I think, and the best part is when you have four foreigners and seven Indians, it eventually also in the long run, because say for example, Bangalore, a lot of guys
Hmm.
will be playing around Gurpreet, who is also
Hmm.
playing for the national team. So now the
Hmm.
experience of the young, of the Indians, because they will be
Hmm.
playing alongside the Indian national team players more, that also helps them and motivates them, right? Because when you're practicing with your friend, and then when you're practicing with Gurpreet, obviously your motivation
Hmm.
becomes different. You will want to be the
Correct.
next Gurpreet or the next Sunil Chetri, and that's why you will practice harder. Also, now you will be exposed to their work ethics, so that
Hmm.
is where you will also try to match up, learn from them. So it's a huge thing. And I think the second rule, which is also, I would say, very related to the discussion that we are having, Orgo, if you
Hmm.
don't mind, I will read out the next one.
Hmm.
So
Yeah.
the second thing, or the third rule, actually says that each club will require to sign four developmental, that is under 21 players. Minimum two must feature in a match day squad. So,
Hmm.
first of all, the match day squad numbers didn't change. That was two before also.
Hmm.
But what has changed
Hmm.
is, instead of two players, because every squad had two under 21 players and they had to play those two, now it's four.
Hmm. Hmm.
What it does is, it builds a pool of youngsters.
Hmm.
You can have a India A, India B sort of a
Hmm.
structure
Hmm.
here, because you
Hmm.
will have, so
Correct.
let's understand, four youngsters, 11 teams,
Hmm.
so 44 youngsters right there. And every
Correct.
single team has world class, be it foreigners, be it Indians.
Hmm.
So there's a, and then obviously the managers, so there's a lot to
Hmm.
learn. And I think, I don't know, whoever sat down and gave this idea has really, really thought for Indian football. Orgo,
Correct.
in an interview today, I don't know if you saw it.
Hmm.
There was a Sunil Chhetri interview in Sports Today. There,
Hmm.
Sunil Chhetri mentioned that he has seen a lot of potential in the younger generation, but
Hmm.
he only hopes and wishes that the younger generation gets more matches. That is again
Correct.
boiling down to the same fact that more matches, more exposure. And ISL is a big league. And also remember the
Correct.
impact that IPL had on cricket. I know you will say again you are
Hmm.
going back to, but then we also have to understand IPL and ISL are actually leagues which
Hmm.
are formed with the same idea in mind. That was to get
Hmm.
more, more business towards the game,
Hmm.
and to get better
Hmm.
players. Here also it's the same thing, to commercialize football
Correct.
as well as get better youngsters and give them
Hmm.
more opportunities. And now it's actually, this makes it actually good for youngsters. gives them a lot of
Correct.
opportunities, sharing the dressing room with uh, experienced players. I think, I mean, it's fantastic.
Correct. And along with this, there's one more rule change. That's the total number of foreigners that can be signed by the teams have
Yeah,
been
sorry.
reduced
Yeah,
to six.
that's
Yeah,
6.
earlier that was seven. So
Seven.
now here comes another equation. You have to get your foreigner selection quota exactly right. Every team. You need to see what your squad
Wait,
is
Orgo, but
and
I
which
think
foreigner.
this, but I
Hmm.
think these rules, no, somewhere um, have been done keeping us in mind.
Why?
Because, see, you are so silly, you don't understand these simple things. Now we get more chances of, like, now we get chances of making more videos, because we have to discuss every team, which foreigner to
Hmm.
take, which foreigner to leave out. And the point that you were mentioning, now when you have
Hmm.
only 6 foreigners to pick, you have to pick
Hmm.
the right coffee bean. Start making
Exactly,
coffee
exactly,
bean.
exactly. That would be a very hard task because up until now, it was blindly most of the teams used to put foreign players in the forward positions. And now, what this does, what this opens up another avenue, which I feel in Indian football, I have seen that mostly the players who are out and out strikers are expected to score goals, or actually, that's how they have been trained. But see foreign football, see European football, or any other football, even the wingers, even the midfielders regularly take those chances and convert goals. For example, a Real Madrid team, which was, I shouldn't compare Indian football to Real Madrid, but the point here is when
No, no,
Real
you're
Madrid was
talking about, yeah.
yeah, yeah. When they're struggling to score goals, the strikers,
Hmm.
somebody like a Luka Modric, somebody like a Casemiro, somebody like a Toni Kroos, who were genuine playmakers, they took up the opportunity to score goals when they were in scoring positions. But in Indian football, if you see the wingers, for example, Chante or Udanta, these are the people, maybe Liston Colasso, Halicharan Nazari, these are people who have the potential to become not strikers but goal scoring options. So then what happens? You have two or three forwards, along with that, three, four other goal scorers. Suddenly, the forwards are not under the pressure to only score goals. You have five scoring options. That makes it so much difficult for the opposition team. But what happens is that here the wingers are mostly concentrated on squaring the ball, providing the crosses, or at times they don't have that courage to take shots on goal.
Shots.
What they do is they pass it to the foreign players. Now, with lesser number of foreign players, some at some point of time they will have to shoot on their own. Few balls will go outside, few balls will be saved, and but then I am sure the number of goals for these wingers and attacking midfielders and all these players who are not out and out strikers, their goal tally will increase. Definitely, this will increase, and that will in turn help the Indian football team. One more thing, Trisha. Along, we were talking about the number of matches, and you saw that this year's
Actually, I
CFL
wanted
didn't
to
happen last
say something on the last point that you were saying.
year.
Also, if you see something, the out and out striker which you are saying, generally, see, as of now, we have Chetri. Let's not go
Hmm,
into that. But
hmm,
we need a proper second striker. I'm not saying Manveer is good
hmm,
or bad. I'm just saying he's
hmm,
inexperienced and he needs more
hmm,
experience. And that is
hmm,
where also this rules come in. This rule also comes in handy, because now
hmm,
none of the teams can actually have 2 strikers and both as foreigners. They, if
hmm.
anyone wants to go with a second striker strategy, it has to be an Indian, because you cannot have
Correct.
2 strikers, 2 foreigners, because then you are left with only 2 foreigners to play with in the
Yeah,
midfield and the defense, right?
in the defense.
So,
Correct.
yeah. And also, I don't know what you were going to go to,
Hmm,
but I was just going to say that you're talking about striker, you are also missing one important point, which is the defense. Playmaker,
hmm,
striker, we did.
hmm,
The defense is also important, and there also,
hmm,
again, you cannot have more than 2 foreigners as defenders, because you
hmm,
just have
hmm,
foreigners to play with.
hmm, hmm,
Automatically, you will have Indian players coming in, and
hmm.
that
Coming
basically
in the
means
defense.
that Yeah, and that basically means that Jhingan and
Tinglan
Jinglan
Sana,
Sana,
all these.
yeah, all of them will now get match practice, experience. I mean, Jhingan doesn't need experience, but yeah, the rest of them will get a lot of exposure, and we will get better defenders also. Sorry, you can continue
Correct.
in
The
between. I just thought of
new
these
crop
points.
of Yeah, the new crop of defenders will come up. A lot of players have shown talent. For example, somebody like a Muhammad Ali from Goa,
Yes,
because he has got
absolutely.
less time, people still don't know about his capabilities. But see, at times coaches will shift their strategies, and at times if somebody is losing, or if you have to win a game by 3 or 4 goal margin, what they will do, they will play two strikers. And then what happens when the defense part is being sacrificed, they will have to put more Indian defenders over there. Or, for example, if they play two strikers and two defenders, they have to play more Indians in the midfield. Then. So, as it is the seven foreigner rule, which Zico, Brazilian result, when he used to coach FC Goa, he tried it out many times. Manuel Marquez Roca of Hyderabad, see the number of Indians, 7, 8 Indians have come up from Hyderabad, the likes of Akash Mishra,
Correct.
Ashish Rai, and Halicharan Narzari, Hitesh. You see so many players because they have focused on their Indian talents. Because Indian talents will help you win the league. You can't only be based on the foreigners. And one more thing, because we were talking about the number of matches, see this year and last year also, Calcutta Football League didn't happen. Many leagues couldn't happen because of pandemic. When these leagues start to happen, these are the feeder for the I League and ISL clubs, because you
Correct.
get talents from these kind of leagues also, and there is a pool of players who will be created from these kind of leagues. Because unless you play a competitive league, people will not know ISL scout or I League scout that whether or not some player can play or not. Like what position does he play? Is he talented enough or not? All these will be scouted if there are more matches. Even in ISL, right now there are 11 teams. If it increases to 13 or then 15, that would be great, because then most of the players will get a good amount of match practice and then be ready for the tournaments which India play.
Absolutely, I completely agree with you. Shubha Brata is saying players from under 17, under 15 levels need to be groomed properly, just like what we are witnessing in Euro Cup. Exactly, and that is where these rule changes are
Hmm.
are game changers. These rule changes are game
Correct.
changers. Wow, wow, wow!
Oh,
I'm so good.
one more rule, if I can suggest before this Phil Foden one.
Yeah.
If in some other leagues there are reserve leagues in European football, all the
Mm-hmm.
players from the reserve team play a league of their own, and by doing that, first of all, the main team has players who are match ready, and
Hmm.
these are the players who are also, they get the money, they are in match practice, and they can vie for their spot in the senior team at any point of time. So once these kind of changes also start happening gradually in the next few years, I think India will have a greater pool of players. See, we make a big mistake. We say India are a country of huge country with huge population, so why don't we get great football players? But we have to focus on the fact that these, like Shubhabrata said, the youngsters, if they are groomed and if there a pool of 100 players, for example, or 150 players are created, and different age group competitions bring up these players, then we will get the players who can actually represent India in the international stage, right? And then you were saying something about Phil Foden, his second question, I think,
Yeah,
Shubhabrata.
no, I think it wasn't a question. It was more like guys like Phil
Oh.
Foden played in Kolkata for England under 17 side. Yes, they did. And now he's one of the star player of this English side playing in the upcoming Euro. Absolutely. This is a major cause of concern that CFL not happening for 2 consecutive years due to Corona. We will for sure lose out on some talented footballers as they are more likely to shift their way of earning
Hmm.
money. Major cause of concern, and that is where again, we will be getting back to the same point if I repeat that is where again ISL comes into play, no? Because ISL is where you will earn money. And you are the rules again gives you a few youngsters. Yes, in the past 2 years I'm sure we have lost some talented youngsters, but
Hmm.
I think we have to look forward And as Argha
Correct.
said, I'm hopeful that India will get a World Cup berth, and Argha and I
And
will
before that,
then
India, like Sunil Chhetri said, that if even if World Cup dream is distant, if you continuously qualify for Asian Cup, which India now are in a position to qualify, and then start doing well first in the at the Asian Cup, and then you can buy for that World Cup thing. So it's a step by step process. But I think the decision has been right, and it's a decision which can take Indian football forward,
let's
along
put
with
it
some
this
other
way.
decisions. Which, yeah,
It's 1 foot forward, which is the
correct.
beauty of this decision.
Mhm. Correct.
It's everything is not going to change in a day, but
Mm.
we have to get in more matches, ISL matches. Yes, also I harp on what Sunil Chhetri said. I hope Indian national team also gets more matches, you know
Correct.
and once
And
that
one more
starts
thing,
happening. Yep. Sorry,
yeah,
go
this
ahead.
rule has also been done. The main reason behind this rule because AFC club competitions, the rules and regulations allow only four foreigners. And now
Correct.
remember, India are playing AFC Champions League Indian teams, AFC Cup. They will continuously be qualifying for those competitions. And it's better to be prepared in your national level in that scenario with four
Absolutely.
foreigners and then go in the continental stage with the same thing. That's a great rule because if you suddenly go with five foreigners in your domestic competition and then four, you have to shift to four.
You
Then
will
that's a
find it
huge
difficult.
strategy
Yeah,
shift. Yeah, yeah, correct.
absolutely. And especially because football
So,
is also a very, not only football, every
mm,
team game is about the balance of the team, right?
mm,
And if you go
correct.
underprepared, or
Mm,
you are gonna lose the balance, and in the major matches you're definitely gonna
mm,
be behind the game. You will start behind the game, right? So having said that, Orgo, mm, I think the problem is we are also behind the game a little.
very much.
We are behind the game because you guys are not subscribing. Neither are you guys subscribing, nor are you guys ringing the bell icon. It's sad. How about we also change some rules? Like
What should we do?
Orgo Orgo cracks at least 3 bad jokes if you guys do not subscribe. Please don't do that,
Correct.
because he will seriously crack bad jokes, and then I will have a very bad day. Anyway, before Orgo's electricity goes off or my Wi-Fi goes off, let's sign off, finish this discussion, and also we want to know your views on these rule changes.
Mm, correct.
Till then, subscribe to our YouTube channel, follow us on Facebook, follow us on Instagram. You can follow our personal profiles on Twitter and Instagram. See you tomorrow. Just a second, Shubhabrata has quickly written a comment we have to take. If we take examples of strong footballing nations like England, Spain, we see that there is EPL, FA Cup, La Liga, Copa del Rey, multiple tournaments, while in India there is only ISL. Shubhabrata, I will tell you something. ISL is just the beginning, because eventually, once the commercials put in, you will also have to remember every league outside used to drive in a lot of money, and hence they can actually afford to have more leagues. Now with ISL being a success, I'm sure different leagues will be branching out. Like there will be leagues and tournaments as well.
And I think there are some league like there was a Hero Super Cup was being planned that
Yeah,
also stopped due to COVID, and a Durand Club was played. We did that. We
correct.
produced Durand
Absolutely.
Cup
You are
2019
wearing a
again.
t-shirt.
Yeah. So again, that I think was supposed to happen. That stopped. Yeah, at one point of time there were a lot of other leagues, but as soon as more money gets pumped in, and also these, I also feel the same. If these leagues starts to continue, if these leagues will also have players who will not play in the initial years for I League or ISL teams. If these leagues still start to continue with minimum budget, also I feel they can also provide very good players for the Indian team and the ISL team. I feel so. Most of the leagues, if more leagues, it's better. More
Yeah,
competitions, not leagues,
you
competitions.
mean, those competitions will be stepping stones towards ISL, and
Hmm.
then from ISL to the national
Correct.
team. Very well
Correct.
said, Orgo. Please don't take this to 30 minutes, because people won't watch half an hour of us. So we will come back
For
tomorrow.
now,
What do we come back tomorrow with? Why should we
we'll not
reveal now?
reveal
We
it
will
now.
read. Yeah,
That
exactly. We'll reveal it tomorrow. Till then, take care, stay safe, stay at home. And if you go outside, please wear your mask. Get yourself vaccinated. Or go get yourself vaccinated. Bye
I
bye.
will. I will.